Give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So you said that they put millions of my houses. Yes, you said that.
Should a murderer go to jail for murdering?
Absolutely.
Should a thief go to jail when he steals?
Absolutely.
Should a robber pay back the money he robbed?
Absolutely.
So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did?
That's right. That's right.
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just also cool in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home. Only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe the slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting. The trail of my tears is countless. Main fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles and make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be. Slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage and safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash. Get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom, we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
Do you see just how it feels? Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood, Slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in this body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Von Dale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is served cold, I just hope they make an oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in the world of mass shooters. Devils design fire for our babies to pass through. In the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
Do you see just how it feels? Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
Really serious and you're looking for a Christ man, the one who anointed with the Lord, with the Spirit of the Lord to do his will, I'm that nigga.
One West, 125th Street. Look, y'all put y'all faith in presidents like they gon' change this country. Run the league and let y'all play cause y'all gon' make a money. Fuck Obama, he ain't come here on cargo slave ship. What the fuck he do for blacks in his administration? I'm waiting, patient like a saint. Black, Hispanic, Native, they hate your ass the same. Paint Christ in they image, paint you as a slave. God ain't all love, scriptures say he hate. African soul niggas streets. They know we not the same. School to prison pipeline to get you off the streets. Put you in the cell toilet connected to the sink. Molested as a kid, she prostituted as a teen. The byproduct of Martin Luther King dream. They just took the yoke off, my nigga, we ain't free. We living bleak in these wastelands of poverty. If you don't know the truth, then the lie sound promising. Prophecy, gift and the curse. Dylan started killing, they was sitting in church. Black folk forgave him, man, this shit is absurd. You should never love your enemy, that shit ain't gon' work. Yeah, fuck dying on your knees, you better die in glory. Man, I joined the UPK, taught me the art of warring. I took a nigga life like mine to be recognized. I feel that pain every day, it can't be reconciled. Pops banging, my sister a prostitute. My brother got life, and somehow I still found the truth. War ready, no cowards, no excuse. Fuck reparations, you can't bandage no open wounds. Blood on the leaves, body swing hung from a noose. I was on a run in Nashville and I found the truth. I called the school, classes being held by the shock on my life. I want to be a gangster like a cop. Do this for my brothers, real brotherhood. Everything we do, we got it out this book. My nigga, I can never be no African. UPK the only authorized acronym. I'm passionate about my brothers and sisters. We in hell, I ain't got nothing against them. That's another religion. If it ain't under your honor, ain't he murdered by them and got a hug from your honor. That's the way out for a coward in my observation. They don't fear the Lord, they indoctrinated. Wolves in sheep clothing, Joe Osteen. Real priest bringing back black royalty. One West on my headpiece, ranking order. Can't let them trick me off the streets, I gotta raise my daughter. I got brothers at the border ducking ICE agents. I got the name change, it was life changing. My family thought it was a game. Put on all black, they said I was going through a phase. It's more of us in jail than it was slaves. Chose by the Lord, we could never be the same. Soon as they born, the wicked go astray. They left the truth, they wasn't with us anyway. Niggas weak, they just saying anything to be truthful. We don't want no cowards anyway. Look, coronavirus, that's a plague. You don't get too much sleep when you waking up the dead. First camp, I cut off all my dreads. I took an oath when that oil hit my head. Niggas capping like they lids. I'm a priest, I never stick no fork in no pig. I was dead till I found out how to live. This brotherhood taught me how to be a man. I came back to my roots, I had to dig. A couple gaps I had to bridge. I got a rib, I'm married to this work. You wanna serve the Lord, he ain't in the Christian church. Came back to my roots, I had to dig. A couple gaps I had to bridge. I got a rib, I'm married to this work. You wanna serve the Lord, he ain't in the Christian church.
Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. Hey, shalom. Welcome back to another episode of the One West Perspective Podcast. This is episode 2. I'm your host, Officer 500, not shot of eyes, UPK, Alabama. Here to hold it down one more time, man. You know what I'm saying? I got the other one you coming through in just a second. Y'all hold tight. They finna come through and, you know what I mean, get on the screen with me, on the stage with me, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? So go and get ready. Get you a drink, get you a little apple juice, whatever you drink, you know what I'm saying? And come on, rock out with us for a little bit. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, man? It's been a good week, man. Been about, what, 2 weeks since I saw y'all last time, man? You know what I mean? I think we're doing this right now every other Sunday on the One West Perspective Podcast. We're doing this every Sunday, man. I've been having good conversations with some brothers about different topics going on in the world. We're going to get into a couple of them. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get into a couple of them to talk about what's going on in the world around us, man. You know what I mean? So, the first story I want to get into, right? And the reason I'm doing this because I got something I want to bring out to y'all, man. You know what I mean? I think the best way to do it is to do it like this. Let me share this story with y'all real quick. And we're going to talk about immigration, right? I know a lot of brothers and sisters don't really connect with immigration, you know what I mean? And they don't really connect with the story our brothers and sisters that are not in, that don't look like us, right? That ain't black, go through. But we got to look at that and we got to see, like, how is that really affecting us and how do we actually address it? You know what I mean? And what is the One West perspective on that issue. You know what I'm saying? Again, the One West perspective is where we take modern day topics and give them and break them down that affect our people and give them that One West perspective, man. You know what I'm saying? So let me make sure I get this story up real quick and we're going to go and get into it. I think that works. I'll zoom in a little bit. Nope, not there. No, how you zoom in? Select. I'm trying to make this a little bit bigger for y'all. Yeah. So this is what we're talking about, right? A judge calls Trump officials' testimony on Abrigo Garcia's potential removal a zero in my view, right? Now, I know a lot of my brothers and sisters out here thinking about Kilmar Abrigo Garcia and don't even know who that is, man. You know what I mean? We don't even know who that is and why is he important? Why are people talking about it, right? And I'll give it to you like this, right? I got a documentary I'm working on called the One Big Beautiful Bill, and we're gonna break it down and try to understand like how is it affecting our people. And this story about Kilmar Abrigo Garcia is heavy because as people come into America, specifically Hispanic people coming into America, they have hurdles that they have to jump. And these hurdles are getting higher and wider and trying to prevent Hispanics from coming into America at all costs, right? And I got different perspectives. I've been talking to different lawyers. I've been talking to different priests about different things about how, you know what I mean, how is this one big, beautiful bill that Trump is pushing, how is that going to affect them, and how is this addressed in our, in the world, you know what I'm saying? So I think it'll be good. Let's read a little bit of the story, and then I'm going to give y'all a little bit of background, right? So a judge calls Trump official testimony on Abrigo Garcia's potential removal a zero, in my view, right? A federal judge on Thursday expressed frustration with the Trump administration over the testimony provided by a top immigration official who was called to address the steps the Trump administration had taken to deport Kilmar Abrigo Garcia to the West, to the West African country of Liberia, right? So Kilmar Abrigo Garcia, I believe he came from El Salvador, and he was looking for asylum in America, right? He was looking for asylum because he was being attacked or he was being terrorized by the gang in his home country, right? And so he made his way up to America to seek asylum. And he had been in America for a little while, right? I think he had been there for a couple of years. He had got him a wife. Yeah, because he was a teenager when he got him a wife and everything. And now the government is trying to deport Kilmar Abrigo Garcia, and they want to deport him to the West African country of Liberia. The question you got to ask there is why, right? John, you know what? Let me give you a little bit more. John Cantu, a senior official at Enforcement and Removal Operations at Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which is ICE, was the latest government witness to appear before the U.S. District Judge Paula Zenas to answer questions about the potential removal of Abrigo Garcia. But in each instance, Zenas has pushed back on the substance of the testimony. Today was a zero in my view, she said Cantu's appearance. Abrigo Garcia is challenging the Trump administration's efforts to remove him from the U.S. ahead of his criminal trial on human smuggling charges next year, right? So they're saying that he's involved in some human smuggling charges, which we don't know if that's true or not, right? But the problem is that in America, you have the right to due process, right? And through due process, you should be able to face your face those who are accusing you before you get deported, and or before anything happens, right? So immigration authorities are now seeking to deport Abrigo Garcia to Liberia, but an order from Zenas that's been in place since August prevents the government from removing him, right? Zenas did not rule on Abrigo Garcia's bid for release, but said she would move quickly to address his challenge, right? So I took a little time earlier this week, a little bit to talk to Ivanel Garcia from La Raza Legal, excuse me. Yeah, I mean, to kind of get his take on this issue and see what he had to say. Let me try to see if I can get that up quickly. while y'all rocking out with me for a little bit. Locking. Boom, 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 boom. Window. Here we go. That's right, Mr. Ivanel Gonzalez Dollar. He's a good brother here in Huntsville, as a matter of fact. I think he's in Madison or Florence, excuse me. Yeah, good brother. Let me go and pull this up. Somebody was trying to get to 32-minute mark, I believe it is. Yeah, bear with me. Let me make sure I get the right minute marker here. 23. We're going to do that. That's a terrible picture of me right there, right? All right, let's move. Let me get to it. Garcia is receiving due process, or do you think that case? What do you think that case is, and how do you think it's relevant to this conversation we're having now? So the question I asked him, right? I said, do you think Kilmar Abrigo Garcia is receiving due process, or do you think how is that related to his case right now, right? And now what Mr. Gonzalez Dollar is going to do now is going to kind of break that case down and give a little bit of that background. So let's go and get into that.
Yeah, I think Abrigo Garcia is a great case to illustrate due process. And we can kind of go over the history of that case. And I've been trying to follow that case as closely as possible. Where we have an individual that's a non-citizen. He came to the United States to seek asylum from his home country in El Salvador because he claims, and he was claiming that he was having problems with gangs, and as a result, him and his family fled when he was a teenager, I believe. Okay, so he more than likely, I don't know all the details of his exact asylum in the case, but he wasn't able to apply for asylum. He was only able to apply for withholding of removal, which is a statutory right if you claim fear in your home country that you'll receive a hearing and an immigration judge will decide whether or not to not send you back to your home country that you're claiming that you have fear to go. And an immigration judge said that there was enough fear and they believed him. So he shall not be sent back to his home country.
So what he just described is how asylum works, right? He's describing how the asylum works, like I was mentioning earlier, that a person would come into America fleeing from whatever danger they may see, saying they're coming from Haiti, right? Say they're coming from Haiti and they are being, let me try to make that a little bigger. So like, say he's coming from Haiti and he's fleeing like war, or he's fleeing from whatever the case may be. He's fleeing from whatever that situation is. He's trying to get away from it. And he would come to America seeking asylum, saying, I need help. I need somebody to stand here. You know what I mean? I need some protection. I need cover. And America would accept them into America and give them an asylum type of temporary citizenship, right? You will be able to get asylum here in America, which you on the surface looks like a good thing. However, when you start digging deeper into it, and like, all right, so, okay, how do we handle that today, right? Because it was a good thing when you put it in place. How is it being handled today, and how should it be handled? So let's keep going on this.
Okay, that was due process. And what happened? He was sent back to his home country, a violation of due process. Okay, the administration said over and over and over, we're never bringing this man back. What happened? they brought him back. Why? Probably because he had really good attorneys and they were forcing the hand of the government through due process, going through the federal courts, saying that he was wrongly deported. And the administration admitted that he was wrongly deported, that he shouldn't have been deported because he was granted withholding and removal. Now, that doesn't mean they couldn't remove him to another country. It only means that they can't remove him to his home country of El Salvador. Okay, so they brought him back. What was the reason why they said they brought him back? Because they were wanting to bring him back to stand charges in Tennessee. Again, due process. He was accused of being a human trafficker. So we're still talking about due process here. What do you do what happens when you're accused of a crime? You go in front of the judge and you get to confront your accusers. You get to say guilty or not guilty. Well, that's what happened. And the government alleged all throughout this process that he was a criminal. He was a MS-13 gang member. And yeah, there were allegations of that activity. But yet again, we're talking about due process. There was never, my understanding, an adjudication that that specifically held he was a gang member of MS-13. You know, he may have had, I think there was adjudications that his wife complained of some kind of domestic violence, but I believe that in her case, she not necessarily recanted, but explained what had happened in that situation. Okay. So fast forward to what's happening to him right now. So they brought him back to the United States. He was in Nashville to face his charges, due process, and he went to court. He was released, but before he was released, he had an interview and a plea negotiation session with federal prosecutors to plead guilty to some type of human trafficking charge and to designate a country of removal as Costa Rica. He rejected that offer. I don't know why he rejected the offer. I can't say. But when he rejected the offer, he was released. He got to go home, and I think, you know, you can look at videos and see when he went home, and he got to see his child and his wife after being detained for 100 ICE. And in that ICE check-in, he was arrested and detained. And the day after.
Yeah, so like I wanted to make sure I got to this point. So what he just described is some of the case that's going on with Kilmar Abrigo Garcia and how it's affecting him and like what's going on with it, right? And he said he went home, he got deported, but he came back and he had to face this accusers for this trafficking case that they say, right? Like we talked about earlier. And now he's back on American soil. He was able to go visit his wife and children, and he had to do like, you know, regular check-ins with ICE, regular check-ins like a probation officer, right? He had regular check-ins that he had to do. And now he's about to go check in with his probation officer, and let's see what happens.
He had what they call an ICE check-in, where you have to go and be monitored by ICE. And in that ICE check-in, he was arrested and detained. And press statements of the Department of Homeland Security said they had intent to remove him to Uganda, a country that he has no ties to, no nothing. The only reason, well, I shouldn't say the only reason, but one reason out of many is that perhaps this administration struck a deal with Uganda to take our deportees. Right, claiming fear in their home country. Okay, but another judge just came out saying that, I'm sorry. So I believe Kilmar Garcia explained fear to Uganda. And then a federal judge came in and said that, okay, if he's expressed fear, he's got to have due process. He's got to have a hearing, and it's got to be adjudicated whether or not he has a genuine fear of a legitimate fear, meaning that it's got to meet every statutory requirement, which is the law, not to be deported to Uganda. And that's where we're at right now. So this story is a story of due process. Whether or not he really is a gang member, whether or not he really is a wife beater, whether or not, it doesn't matter. It goes back to my point is that if one person doesn't have due process, we all don't have due process. Because if we can sneak around and send somebody to, I don't even want to say what that place was that they sent them to. In the silence of the night, then that can happen to any one of us that are labeled as terrorists, that are labeled as gang members, and even labeled as wife beaters. If that's the narrative that we're going to create, then, you know, I think we should all be very concerned about our due process protections. But one consolation to this whole event is we are seeing due process work. So, I mean, I feel like the due process is still there for now.
Yeah. So that was a heavy little intro. And be on the lookout for this, man. This is gonna be coming out real soon. This One West Perspective, the show, right? That's definitely coming out. Let me make sure I pull it down. Yeah, it's coming out real soon, man. So be on the lookout for that. I got a couple of conversations with this brother Ivan Noel Gonzalez Dollar from La Raza Legal. Also talked to Keith Cornett. He's in Huntsville here, also immigration attorney as well. And I also got with the brothers out of California from the Inconvenient Truth. They're in the ISUPK school. They in the school, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was a good conversation I had with the brother. But to talk about how this case is relevant is because just because this Kilmar Abrigo Garcia, you know what I mean, is the one that's going through it, does not mean that this will not happen to somebody else. That it can't happen to you and it can't happen to me. You understand what I'm saying? It can definitely happen to you or me. You feel me? So that's why it's so important that we get in front of this and we get on top of it and we, you know what I mean, we make sure we give it the proper light that it needs and that our people are paying attention and realizing that we cannot trust America, that we cannot trust Donald Trump, that we cannot trust these oppressors. You can't trust Kay Ivan. You understand? You can't trust these folks, man. You understand? Because these people are terrible, horrible people that have done so much wrong to us for so many years that if you still believe in them, you out of pocket, man. You know what I mean? You out of pocket for that. So I want to make sure I touch on that. And since I got your attention, let me go play this little intro real quick for y'all, because you know what I mean. Listen. I'm really excited about this project. Been putting a lot of hours in this project, man, and it's coming along. So hopefully, like in the next week or two, so like hopefully before the end of the year, I'll be able to drop this thing, man. Boom, share screen. I was like, yeah. That's the one. Yeah. See, this is what being born in America looks like. You work hard, you raise your kids, you open up businesses, send money to your people, and you pay taxes. That's America. But under this new presidency, that may not be a reality anymore. Under Donald Trump and these executive orders he's passing out, he's challenging the 14th Amendment and what we consider to be birthright citizenship. This president, under the big, beautiful bill, is putting hundreds of billions of dollars into the hands of ICE agents. That's going to cause havoc on the streets. We're going to dive deep in this One West perspective to understand what's the solution for our people. We're talking to lawyers, we're talking to priests, we're talking to regular people on the streets to figure out how we get ahead of it. Man, listen, this is the One West perspective. I'm Officer 500, not the shot. Stay tuned. Shalom. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, man, I'm definitely looking forward to that, man. I hope y'all looking forward to it. Make sure y'all be on the lookout for it. It's definitely coming out. Lord willing, we'll be able to drop that before the end of the year. That's my plan. I want to drop that at least by the feast of, by the next feast day. You know what I'm saying? I definitely want to be able to drop it by then. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. Let me pull this other story up next that I thought was pretty interesting. Something to talk about, man. You know what I mean? Something that we should all dive deep into and understand, man. You know what I mean? Can I zoom in? I can't zoom in on this thing. All right. Can you run it back? No sweat. Share this tab instead. We're going to refresh.
You politics. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Aren't Southerners supposed to be... That's not all that is. Welcome to the United States of Alabama, where the powerful govern through Southern-style you politics. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Aren't Southerners supposed to be genteel, charming, hospitable? Not when it comes to politics. In 1961, federal courts ordered Birmingham to let black people play on public golf courses. And what did the city do? It sent police to fill the holes on the greens with concrete because you. When Montgomery was ordered to let black kids swim in the city's public pools, it filled those pools with dirt because you. If you're thinking, Kyle, that sort of thing is ancient history, well then I will give you another. When you can't find the money to expand Medicaid for working Alabamians, but hey, here's $2 billion for a prison. That's you politics too. It's the politics of we shall not be told. We don't have to follow anyone's rules, not even our own. And if you try to make us, well then, you. My grandmama would say, we don't talk like that, but we sure as heck act like that. And so now are a whole lot of other people. When a White House press secretary answers a question with your mama, that's you politics. When we can't fund the government, but the president can somehow find the money for a gaudy ballroom that no one but him seems to want, something that's bigger than even the White House itself, that's you politics. When voters elect someone from another party to Congress, but the House Speaker won't seat her because, I don't know, maybe some files or something could get out, that's you politics. When you pardon violent insurrectionists, crypto creeps, and political pals because they're on your side, and then you sick the feds on people you don't like, that's really you politics. When a jury finds you guilty of felonies, but you ask the Justice Department to pay you $230 million, that's the politics of you. You politics seems to be ubiquitous in America today, and Trump has leveraged it so well that now some Democrats want to get in on the act. And yeah, I'm looking at you, California, but I'm here to tell you, don't do it. And why? Well, let's consider what it's done for my home state of Alabama. When you fill holes on the putting greens, then nobody gets to play golf. When you turn swimming pools back into grassy lots, then nobody gets to swim. You politics is the politics of cutting off your nose to spite your face. It's the politics of self-defeat. There's a reason Alabama ranks 48th and 49th in so many things, and that's because when you practice you politics, then ultimately you yourself. That may look like a demolition, but that's not a...
So yeah, you heard what he said. You know what I mean? You heard what he said. He talked about, what do you call them, FU politics, right? I thought it was funny, man. It's real creative. It's real creative that he did that. But what's the One West perspective, right? So when you talk about FU politics and you're talking about all these things that America has done and what Alabama has done to terrorize, attack, offend, harass black people, like you got to realize that these people don't have your best interests at heart, man. You know what I mean? And you go out here and you vote, and you know what I mean? You vote for different people. You put your self-worth in these politics. You put your self-worth in these celebrities. You put your self-worth in these people in power. So like you. I want to pull this up real quick. Yeah, man, what it does is it really shows that you don't really know who to follow. that you're just following somebody just because you think that they're right, or you think that they're better than the alternative. And the alternative in your mind is that it's like the alternative in your mind is that we would choose the more evil option, right? So you're choosing the lesser of two evils, so you don't have to choose that evil option. However, what you're doing is you're still choosing the evil option, and you're still following, you know what I mean, the wrong choice, instead of figuring out how can we address this the right way. How do we get the right solution here, man? You know what I mean? And what it takes me to is a scripture that I wanted to pull up real quick, man. You know what I mean? And this is a heavy one. I want to get to it. Exodus chapter 23, verse 2. Exodus chapter 23, verse 2. Boom. Say it right? Yeah, that's it. So Exodus chapter 23, verse 2 says this: Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment, right? So like, let me go back to verse 1. I apologize. Thou shalt not raise a false report. Put not thine hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. Shit's like, I'm trying to find a mute button. What happens is you take these lesser of two evil options and you still find yourself choosing an evil option, man. The scripture says, put not thine hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. You understand? And when you reject the idea about Kilmar Abrigo Garcia, you reject what this brother's going through because it's part of this issue, right? This is an immigration issue. It's not my problem. It's not what we need to work through. That's a problem, because what you're following and what you're practicing is what this devil said, is you're practicing FU politics. You're practicing what they say is FU politics, man. You know what I mean? Instead of actually looking at the problem and trying to figure out what the solution is. See, in the ISUPK and the Commander-General Hunter, we have the solution for how to handle these problems, man. And all we have to do, first of all, is make sure you standing right with the Lord. Make sure that you're doing what's right with the Lord and making sure you're following his commandments and figuring out where you stand at with the Lord, and then love your brother. Know that it's not just African Americans that are your brothers. It's also blacks. It's also other blacks like Haitians, Levi's, Caribbeans like that. Blacks, Hispanics, and natives, man. You know what I mean? These are our brothers. These are the ones that need love. These are the ones that need our help. These are the ones that need us. You understand? That need us to come through and stand up for them. These are the ones that need our help. These are the ones. But when we vote, you understand? When we vote and we say, I want to go do whatever. I want to be a Democrat. I want to be a Republican. I want to be an independent. What you're doing is you're putting your hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. It says, thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. And that's what you're doing. Say you want to be a black Republican. You're following a multitude to do evil. You want to be a black Democrat. You're following a multitude to do evil. That's it. That's what it is, bro. And you got to realize that that is not how we're supposed to live our life, man. That's not how we're supposed to live our life. We're supposed to live our life in righteous ways, in a righteous manner. You know what I'm saying? In a righteous way to how we do. You understand? You understand? It says, verse 3, neither shalt thou countenance a poor man in his cause. Neither shalt thou countenance a poor man in his cause. You understand? These brothers that are being rejected and being trampled over by these ICE agents, these are brothers that need help. These are the brothers that need our assistance, that we should be standing by and giving the support that they need, man. This is what the time that we should do it, and we should do it now. We should do it now. You understand? Don't wait, you understand, just because it's been like this for years. Don't wait just because your mama and daddy did it like this, and this is how you feel it should be right. Don't do that. There's a better way to do it. It's a better way to live. It's a better way to bring out what should be brought out. You understand? And then the ISUPK and the Commander Johnny Hunter, that's how we do it. And we should always do it like that, man. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, yeah, I just want to bring that out, man, because the stories that he talked about was heavy because I remember these stories. You know what I mean? I wasn't around, but I remember hearing these stories about in Montgomery filling in these swimming pools with dirt so the black kids couldn't swim in them. I remember hearing my father tell me stories about how he couldn't be in the white pools. You understand? He couldn't go swim in those pools. It would be a problem. I remember my mother telling me in South Alabama when she was coming up that when the fair came to town, they couldn't go to the fair on Friday night. They had to go on Saturday night. You understand? These are the things that we have to get in front of. These are the things that we're combating and that we're fighting against. You understand? And when you say, I want to hold hands with the white man, it spits in my mother and father's face. It spits in my grandmother's face, who had more horrible stories. You understand? It's a spit in my grandfather and great-grandfather, and, you know what I mean? All of our forefathers that came before us. It's a spit in their face when you say you want to hold hands with them. You understand? I'm not saying you can't be friendly with them. I ain't saying you can't be genteel. I ain't saying you can't be cool with them, like in that way, right? But you got to understand who you should give your love to. You got to understand who you should give your love to, who you should give your spirit to. And don't give your spirit to this place, man. Don't give your love to this place. Give your spirit to your people. Give your love to your people. Give your energy to these people, to your people, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't give it to these oppressors. They don't want it. They don't deserve it. You understand? They just want to eat off us, man. That's all they want. Deuteronomy 28 talks about it clearly. It talks about it clearly that's who that we are going to serve them in hunger and in nakedness and in want of all things. That's what the scriptures say, man. You understand? What we have to do is make sure that when we go out here and walk on this earth, you know what I mean, that we have brotherhood in our hearts. We got brotherhood on our mind. We got brotherhood and sisterhood on our hands and on our way of living. Which brings me to the next story, which will probably be the last story. I ain't gonna touch on this too tough. Because you know what I mean, we got something in works that I definitely want to make sure we you know what I mean, we get into. You know what I mean? So I just want to bring it up because of course it happened in Birmingham, you know what I mean? And it's something that we gotta address. Let me pull it up real quick. Boom, Salakia. This right here. Yeah, man, it's a terrible story, man. It's a terrible story to talk about. I think I had it somewhere else. So like, let me go to my other link. I apologize. Bear with me. No, it's just me right now. You know what I mean? We gotta get to it the best way we can. You know what I'm saying? All right. Skip. Let me see. Should I open it up all the way? That don't really matter. Let me share my screen. So like, yeah, I'm trying to find out where it's at. I just lost it. There it is. Nope, there it is. There it is. Boom. Got so many windows open, I gotta shut some of these things down, man. You know when you got like 1,000 windows open, you can't find nothing? All right, well, there it is. So we're gonna share that. We're gonna play this video real quick and just kind of see what it is. You know what I mean?
Three hairdressers at a Birmingham hair salon have been arrested. According to the victim, she went to the salon that day for a haircut and had agreed on a price of $200 with the staff beforehand. However, After the service was completed and she paid the agreed amount, the staff suddenly changed their minds and demanded an additional $50. When I refused and tried to leave, things completely spiraled out of control, Jessica recalled. They not only blocked me, but one of them even went straight to the door and locked it. Jessica stated that she...
I'm playing again.
3 hairdressers...
This is, and let me make sure I give you clarity on this, right? So this is not the sister who it happened to. This is a story that another page created. I want to get in touch with this sister and make sure we have her on this show so she can tell her story and give the truth about how it affected her and, you know what I mean, what her perspective of it was. You know what I mean? I think it's important that we get her perspective because she was the one, it happened to her. You know what I mean? She's the one that you know what I mean, that had to suffer through this. And it's so important that we get to it because this is a real situation. You know what I mean? The sister went to an African hair braider spot, got her hair braided. They agreed on a price before she went there. And then when she got there, the African, the braider, right? And that's what it is. I'm not, you know what I mean? This is the African hair braider, changed up on her. Said it's going to be a different price. Said that price ain't going to work no more. I want more money from you. Sound like a scam to me. Sound like a scam to me. You understand what I mean? So we're going to get to it real quick.
3 hairdressers at a Birmingham hair salon have been arrested. According to the victim, she went to the salon that day for a haircut and had agreed on a price of $200 with the staff beforehand. However, after the service was completed and she paid the agreed amount, the staff suddenly changed their minds and demanded an additional $50. When I refused and tried to leave, things completely spiraled out of control, Jessica recalled. They not only blocked me, but one of them even went straight to the door and locked it. Jessica stated that she...
So, yeah, you hear the story, right? Of course, you know, like they say, it's always 2 sides to a story. It's always, you know what I mean, it's they side, my side, and truth. How they say it? It's always 3 sides to a story. What is it? His side, my side, and the truth. You know what I mean? We got to get the truth of this situation, right? We got to get the truth of like how it went down. You know what I mean? And the sister is trying to give her side, and I think she deserves a platform to speak out on what happened to her and how she, you know what I mean, how she was handled in this situation. I think she deserves that, and I think we should be able to give her that. You know what I mean? So definitely going to bring that out. Make sure y'all stay tuned for the next episode. We're definitely going to get into that. We're going to get into another story, man. Yeah, I mean, if y'all got any questions, of course, you can bring your questions out. We are here to help. We are here to give answers, man. The ISUPK is the home of the truth, so we bring out this truth. We bring out all of these things on a regular basis, man. You know what I mean? ISUPK Alabama, we have class every Tuesday, every Wednesday, man. Make sure you check in. Every Tuesday, 6 o'clock, 6:30. Every Wednesday, 6:30. Make sure y'all tune in, check the class, man. You know what I mean? Get your questions answered. If you have any biblical questions, if you need any counseling, get in touch with the ISUPK, man. You know what I mean? The ISUPK is the home of the truth. You mess around and go to one of these other Israelite groups, you might start getting pegged in your butt. I'm going to look at the camera, make sure I tell y'all that. You be careful. I'm going out to these other Israelite groups, man. Going out to these other Israelite groups, you're going to get messing around. You're going to get pegged. I'm just telling you the truth. It's what's happening right now. So make sure y'all check out, man. Make sure y'all be careful. You know what I mean? Make sure you get with the home of the truth, man. You know what I'm saying? ISUPK Alabama, ISUPK and the Commander General Hunter, we are the home of the truth. Blacks, Hispanics, and Natives are your brothers and sisters, man. We are the chosen people of God, man. Listen, this is the One West perspective. Next time, we're going to definitely bring out some more stories. I got a sister that we're going to talk about some, you know what I mean, some prison issues. I want to make sure we bring that stuff out because there's a lot of things going on in Alabama that we need to bring light to, man. This is the One West perspective where we take modern day topics that affect our people, break them down, and give them a One West perspective. I'm your host, Officer 500, not just out of ISUPK Alabama. Shalom.
Shalom. This is to all Israelite groups and all Israelite communities and all breakoffs from One West and breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs. No matter what rainbow uniform you wear, red, white, purple and white, all white, it don't matter. You should all treat the ISUPK like your weird, misunderstood Sabbaths. You shouldn't do anything until you counsel with the ISUPK. We'll tell you when and what to eat. We'll tell you who to marry. We'll tell you who to have sex with and how. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your wives. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your parents, your friends, everybody. We'll tell you when and how to pray. We'll tell you how to direct your life in a way that's pleasing to the Most High God of Israel and our Black King Yahushua, aka Jesus Christ. We will be to you instead of a God. Just like the Most High told Moses in Exodus 4:16 that Aaron would be to him instead of a mouth and he would be to Aaron instead of a God. That's what we'll do for you. It is what you all need because none of you know what the fuck you are doing. I pray you understand. Shalom.